Hello, Dreamcatchers, and welcome to another exciting day in the Writers' Haven. I am your host, V Helena, and today in studio we have the founders of the Annapolis Film Festival, filmmakers Patti White and Lee Anderson. They have generously agreed to do a part 2 with us. Collectively, their resumes read like a tour de force, having worked in just about every cinematic genre possible. Everything from film documentaries to reality TV have passed through their creative hands and onto the silver screen or your television. They joined forces to stand up Filmsters, which is a multi-platform service provider of storytelling support that assists in development, all phases of production, and branding media. So join me in welcoming filmmakers Patti White and Lee Anderson to the Haven. What would you say is your greatest accomplishment, individually and together?
Oh, wow. Well, actually, to be honest with you, together, I think we have a lot of things that we absolutely love, but I think our greatest accomplishment is that we built this business. And that we're proud of the things that we did in it and what the legacy of our film camp that we actually gave back to the community with this camp. I mean, we started it out thinking it would be, we'll see how it goes. And 18 years later, I think if we shut the doors and went away, people would mutiny. I mean, they love film camp, you know what I mean? And we do it for the kids and for the community. And to be honest with you, I think that's the same how we feel about the festival as well.
Well, it's been now 7 years. It's at a point where the community gets it, the city supports it, finally, because we have a great mayor who calls it the Movie Fest and loves it. The nation is starting to notice us. We're starting to get known for our great slate and guests and all the good things that happen.
Awesome.
But it's time to grow up. We need big support now to continue, big corporate sponsors, it takes money. It's $1 million festival. It takes money. And you can only trade out so much and beg people to do so much. So if people want it to stay, we really need people to
step up,
continue to support. And the beauty of it is we sat down in the early days with a small group of people and said, we want to do a festival. And here are the fundamental things we want to do. We want it to be walkable, affordable, accessible, available, and for everyone. So we've done that. I mean, we've programmed for it. We have a most diverse audience of any event in Annapolis all year, to be honest with you.
I think it's even more than all year. I think that when we said at the beginning, we said we were going to do this festival and we want it to be for our entire community, not just one segment of our community.
Intentionally done.
And they said, good luck. Our first board said,
did.
Good luck, because this is
we'll
something,
see how you go.
this is a tough town to break those things. And you know what we said? We're going to give it every shot we have, and by doing that, we did program for it, and we went out and found the projects and the films and the stories that would resonate with different groups of people. And we brought it all together, and what happened is we've blended a community and we've blended an audience around this festival and around art, so people can go and watch a movie and sit in an audience and have a conversation with the person next to them who they would never be sitting with, and afterwards in the Q&As, and bring up all of these thoughts and the energy of it. And here it is. It's right in front of you. And our biggest problem was that not enough people in our community knew about it. And we still think enough people don't know about it. It's amazing because we feel like everybody knows, but there's still people who, oh yeah, the film festival, I've heard of it, but I've never been.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's something that we always felt like if we could make this happen, that by having these conversations, it strengthens the fabric of our very community, because it's when people see other perspectives and get to talk about it, that strengthens us. It helps us, it creates understanding. So I think it's just making a stronger community.
It's the evolution.
And certainly the films that you have premiered there speaks to your mission and your vision of wanting to be inclusive, diverse, to tell real stories that hit the human heart. What are some of the highlights
Oh
for
boy.
this.
Should we start with opening night?
Yeah, we'll start with opening night.
Okay.
We just got a film called The Public, and this film is it's starring Emilio Estevez, and he also is directing it. It's a passion project for him.
He wrote it too.
And he wrote it. It has a very big cast. It has Alec Baldwin and Taylor Schilling and Jenna Malone and Christian Slater, and all kinds of people are in this. And the thing that we loved about it for us is that it hits on several pieces of our community, several important aspects of our community, and also our theme of truth and storytelling. So basically, it's about a public library, a true story based on a public library in Cincinnati, Ohio during a major frozen snowstorm one January a couple years ago when it was. And that snowstorm just created chaos because the homeless people in the community that were using the library, you know, a lot of them go in, they get warm, they use the bathroom during the day. It created this, they had to be in there because they were freezing to death on the street. And
the shelters were full.
And the shelters were full. So it involves, Emilia Estevez plays a librarian who's basically been around this and knows a lot of them and, you know, has helped them out. And so he's kind of stuck there when they're all there. And the city now is...
So the police chief is Alec Baldwin, and he's like, they stage a sit-in because people had frozen to death the night before. So now they stage the sit-in, and all the journalists are parked outside with their live trucks.
There's our truth and storytelling.
The DA comes, that's Christian Slater, and he's kind of a jerk who's running for office, and he's trying to get like good press and like you know, spin it for his advantage. And then there's Emilio Estevez who's just saying people are going to die, like, and the
humanity of it, and also he also really wants people to understand the need for public libraries. We're building one in Annapolis.
Yep,
we just have a
tore down the old one,
brand new public library that's being built in Annapolis, and which was a very big issue here for a long time, whether to build this library or not build it. So here we have the library about to be finished. We have our lighthouse shelter, which is our big homeless shelter here. It's been really great.
West Street, I think.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And then we have our Capital Gazette and our truth and storytelling. And so this is a perfect film for us for opening night because it hits on all these things. And it's very inspirational and it's lively.
And there's some humor.
There's definitely some humor in it as well.
And it's really, it kind of brings us all to that moment of like, what would you do? You know, it just humanizes the whole issue in a way
the morality of it all, you know? And so we're not going to tell any more. That was enough. But
well, you mentioned 2 other films.
Oh, we have 70 other films.
Well, the film we mentioned was Solace, which was the Lynn Whitfield film. And that's a beautiful story. It's also edgy, you know. It's a very indie, scrappy, independent film that has
a lot of heart.
Has a lot of heart, and it also has some experimentation with filmmaking, which is really interesting. And it tells the story of a black family, you know, and a young girl when she's dealing with loss and grief, and has to go and live with her grandmother, and it's not a happy time for anybody.
Then there's the generational piece,
and the generational piece
be part of the story.
Right, and she's trying to find herself. And as I told you before, I said, you know, this is interesting for us because this is not a film about race. This is a film about people and their stories and what they're going through. And it's important that as important it is as we tell the historical and sociological stories and you know, social justice stories, it's also really important that we just tell stories in other cultures as well. You know. So
speaking of which, we have also another fabulous film called Easy Lessons, which is a story of a girl. It's a documentary. She is Somali, right?
She's Somali, yeah.
And she's stunning, beautiful, and she walks with a group of refugees and ends up, by the time she gets to Hungary,
that's a year
later.
She's fled Somalia for a year. She's immigrated.
She says, you know what, I'm too tired to go on. She's 14, She said, I can't. So she ends up in child services in Hungary, doesn't speak Hungarian, doesn't know anybody. Her whole family's back in Africa, and she starts a life, and it's just an amazing story of like adaptation and how a community surrounds her.
She
and
wants to be a model, and
Yeah.
you know, and she wants to, and she's studying, but it's experiential. You know, you kind of experience it with her. It's not a lot of heavy drama. It's just good storytelling.
Do you have any books to film? Any films that are featured?
Adaptations?
Films that have been based on books. No, the public was based on a journalistic article in the
magazine
newspaper,
story.
but I'm not sure whether any of the films that we have right now. We have a couple of
The Interpreters.
we
Interpreter.
we have The Interpreter, which is for our Jewish experience, which is a very cool narrative feature film. That's going to be our leading film in that showcase, which I think everyone will love.
What is it that you hope film goers will take away from the film festival this year?
Oh gosh. Well, you know, we're honoring truth and storytelling this year. And
that's the theme?
That's the theme.
It is.
Okay.
It's reflected in our art. You see the Capitol Dome with the faded Capitol newspaper headlining behind, and the light of truth and justice beaming from the top, but it then turns into Gutenberg's printing press, and it becomes digital and film. So it's that honoring of storytelling for all those years. And we're doing a special film called Pulitzer, and we'll have a panel afterwards about journalism, truth, and storytelling.
Print journalism.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was competing with Hearst, Randolph Hearst, and so that's and hopefully we'll have a few other journalistic kinds of films, right?
Well, yeah, we're working on it. We don't have all of them in place yet, but we're working on some other films that, and also it's not just the journalism piece. It's the true storytelling. We're trying to do some real true stories besides our documentaries this year, and then we have a lot of entertainment mixed in. We have a great new film called Wild Rose, which is just going to be coming off of South by Southwest that premiered at Toronto, and it's Jessie Buckley is the star, and she's pretty kind of the it girl right now, and she plays a down on her luck Scottish woman who's been taking care of her mom, and her mom's very ill, and all she's ever wanted is to come to America and be a Nashville country star. So
and she's British, isn't she?
She's Irish,
Irish,
but
actually.
she plays a Scottish girl. So it's, you know, it's got some familiar story beats in it, but it's also got the richness of bringing other cultures and together with music, and I mean,
cinematically well done.
Yeah, cinematically beautifully done, and
you know, we have a lot of entertaining movies. We have
truth and storytelling. Is that on purpose that you decided that the theme for the festival would be based on that? Based on what? The times that we're in?
Based on the times that we're in, based on the fact that we lost journalists here in Annapolis last year who were just out there trying to tell people's stories and telling truthful, good stories about our community. We lost those people. The importance of the press, because, I mean, everybody makes mistakes. They're not perfect, but we aren't a democratic society without the press.
Yeah.
And
free
so
press.
we want that to be underscored, you know.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, just the journey that people have to go through to find their truth, so they can follow a dream. I mean, for all you dream catchers, that's what this is about. How do you get there, from here to there in your own life? And a lot of our films are going to reflect that this year. And, you know, it's across all, you know, all these.
Perfect example. We have another film called The Interpreters. It's a feature doc.
That's a great
This
film.
is a true story. It is like you're on the edge of your seat, thriller, because when we pulled out of Afghanistan, we just left all those interpreters. They were hired by our military, and the Taliban was in control. So their lives and their families' lives are in danger. So it's about this group of guys who refuse to let, they fight to get these guys out and save them and their families before they're killed, because help the U.S. And it's powerful. It's about friendship. It's about loyalty. It's just
Right.
The interpreters.
Interpreters,
Can't
yeah.
wait to see that.
And we're a military town
Yeah.
in many ways.
Yeah.
So
Naval
it's,
Academy's
it's
right
a
there.
perfect town. We also have a film called Lieutenant Van Dorn.
Who killed Lieutenant Van
Lieutenant
Dorn?
Van Dorn. And that is a film that we're hoping the community embraces, because it's tough. It's one of those things where you have to look at your own warts. You know what I mean? In the sense that not that there's blame, but it's kind of some of the things that are wrong with what's happened with contractors and the keeping up good standards in the military and all of that. And we're looking at that because we should be looking at that.
Right.
Because that's what we do. You know what I mean? We're here to tell these true stories and to make people get better. Not to not to just avoid all the time.
Yeah, and Red Roll Red is one of those too.
Yeah, that was the one I brought up before, which is a kind of a Me Too story, but it's really more about the assault, high school assault of a football team, that assaulted a girl in Steubenville, Ohio. This was a true story that people know about that story. But this puts all the pieces of it together.
Yeah.
So you can actually see the timeline, and you can see how everybody knew, from the teachers to the parents to the students
Unbelievable.
and everybody let it happen.
Everyone was
Everybody let it-
complicit.
You mean no one wanted to talk about it?
Nobody
No.
wanted to do anything about
no,
it.
no punitive anything. They
get
were
off
just
and-
boys will be boys, and that's been how many years that football team operated like that. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But
And the filmmakers will be there?
Yes.
Nancy Schwartzman can't be there though.
Oh no, not the filmmakers for this won't be there. She can't make it. She's got a big film opening.
But that's one thing that I love about your film festival is the ability for film goers to not only view the films, but to also sit in on panel discussions and to hear the filmmakers talk about how they came up with the stories and the production and also any challenges that they may have come across in producing it and getting it out there and premiering anywhere. So that's great. Now talk to me about the second annual shorts competition.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
We're
Yes.
very excited about this.
Well, last year we launched this thing, and we couldn't do it without the wonderful support of our vendor sponsors who provide the prize, which is a production package that provides camera, sound, lighting, post-production, sound design, music, and post-production video.
It's worth a lot of money.
So it's, and they're all here in Maryland. So Maryland Film Office is very much a part of it. They want to prove and show that we
They're
can
a
make great
sponsor
films
of
in
it.
Maryland, along with Studio Unknown, Henninger Media, Lens Pro To Go. Filmsters had a little something to do with it, and Serious Grip and Electric, which is right around the corner.
Those are all our sponsors.
And it's amazing what they've provided for the winner. The winner was Chuck Winonsa Durecki, and her pitch was called The Bride Price. So they just wrapped in December. They're in post now, and that film will premiere for the first time at the festival this year.
What was the theme last year?
The theme was girls and women and girls' stories around the world.
Okay.
So, and she's Nigerian American student at Howard, MFA student at Howard, and she brought
We had some of the
something-
same teachers, actually.
Yeah, exactly. She brought something very special to her pitch. If you saw it, I'm not sure if you did or not.
I did not see her pitch, but I did get a chance to interview her and talk to her.
She's something.
Remember, I interviewed
Oh,
her.
we should run that.
Yeah, I can send it to you.
We should run that.
She was amazing, and this year, because of our theme, we've decided that our theme for our shorts challenge should be the same. So it's truth and storytelling. So we're receiving lots of submissions.
You have a
and
deadline?
We have a deadline, which is Friday.
Oh, okay.
Friday's our deadline. If you know anybody that wants to get it in, it's a short on truth and storytelling. Send it to us, and it's just a pitch sheet.
So write it up.
Write it up, and if you have some pictures to show the tone of it, you can do that. And then we're going to decide, and we will make that decision. The top 5 will be selected and brought in from wherever they are in the country, and some will probably be local, some will be not local. And then on Saturday morning, 10 to 12 in the morning, that we have the pitch challenge, and we have the shorts challenge, and we have judges on the stage, and there'll be industry guests and professionals and they will be watching each candidate do their pitch to the audience live. It's just think Shark Tank meets The Voice or something, you know, and they will give it their all, and then they will be grilled by the judges, asked questions that they'll have to answer, and in that answering, hopefully the audience will get to know, and the judges will get to know much more about the story. So they'll each get 5 or 7, 8 minutes, no more than 10, for each of the 5 candidates. And when it's all over, our audience will vote in their seat. You know, they will have a vote, and that'll account for a quarter of the vote, and then the judges will go and meet, and they'll decide the rest of it. And whoever wins will be announced at our Saturday bash, and again at Best of Fest on Sunday.
Okay. Well, listen, I wish you both the best with the 7th annual film festival that's coming up March 21st through the 24th. That's Thursday through Sunday, right, of this year. And I know that those who are going to make a point of going out there are going to really, really have an exciting time. You guys have so many events that are going on too. I mean, there's the panel discussions, there's of course the films, but then you also have other opportunities for people to come out and meet filmmakers. So, I mean, Annapolis is on fire during that time.
Coffee talks.
We have the
morning.
Filmmaker Lounge is hopping.
Filmmaker Lounge.
Which is fun, and there are parties that go on, and just lots and lots of opportunities to network and connect. If anything, we're probably more of a networking film festival, you know? And we make it accessible. People are very approachable, as you know. You've been there. So I think the town has done a great job of embracing them as the artists that they are, and kind of honoring them in the way they ask questions and the way they approach them, and they're just, the town gets really excited to get to know these people.
And our after party is one of the great community parties.
It is. Opening night.
That ever happens here, because it brings everybody that goes to opening night ends up going to this party, and it's so cool. It's people from all over, everybody mixed together. It's music and
live band. We have a few fun things lined up.
Yep, we do.
And
can't tell those though. You have to come. Get your pass, get your ticket, come to the festival, and just immerse yourself in it, and you won't be sorry, because it only happens once a year like this.
We'll do a slate announcement end of February, and tickets, everything goes on sale live March 1st.
Okay, great. Well, thank you both again for coming into the Haven and sharing your experiences as well as your success with the Filmsters Academy and your business, Filmsters.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. And Dreamcatchers, you have just heard the second and final part of our 2-part series on the Annapolis Film Festival that features the founders of that event, as well as the Filmsters and Filmsters Academy. So thank you for spending time with us, and until next time, catch fire on purpose. Dreamcatchers, welcome to another exciting season of the Writers Haven Show. I'm V Helena, your host and executive producer. The Writers Haven Show was created to showcase the passion, process, and projects of writers of literature, television, and film. In our 3rd season, we've expanded our programming to include songwriters. We hope to inspire and motivate you with this season's lineup of artists. Stream our shows on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, Sonos, SoundCloud, Spotify, Alexa, and YouTube. We drop new episodes every week, so subscribe and never miss a show. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr at author V Helena, and visit our website at www.writershavenshow.com. See you in the Haven, and until next time, catch fire on purpose.
Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I I made it.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education? What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you.
You could be the teacher I never forget.
That would be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Green hat, red hat, oops. Red shirt, blue shirt, yellow shirt, oops. Yellow pants, red pants, green pants, oops.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.